What's the toughest vote you had this past year?
The toughest vote that we had for me this year was the vote on the Central American Free Trade Agreement.
The Central American Free Trade Agreement, or CAFTA, relaxed restrictions between the U.S. and 6 Central American countries. Leading up to the late July vote on CAFTA, Minnesota Congressman Gil Gutnick's office phones were ringing off the hook.
Congressman Gutnick's office. This
But when we really received a lot of phone calls, and it was overwhelmingly against it.
Many callers were Minnesota sugar beet farmers who opposed CAFTA because they felt it would lead to a flood of cheap imported sugar from Latin America.
I ultimately came down on the side of voting against the Central American Free Trade Agreement. I think it was the right vote, but it was a very tough vote for me, and I had a lot of conflicting pressures from.
The measure passed by a tight margin, 217 to 215. So how do your representatives make their decisions on
particular issues? It really comes down to 3 things, and they all start with C. First of all, it's my conscience. The second thing is my constituents. You know, I am their representative, and I have to represent their views the best I can. And finally, the final C is my caucus. I am a Republican, and if it doesn't conflict with what my conscience says, and if it doesn't conflict with what I think my constituents want, then many times I will give my party leadership the benefit of the doubt.
Iowa Congressman Tom Latham.
Well, I think of any issue of substance that has to do with issues that affects the people from my district or from my state or from the region, it is 100% constituent and my own personal philosophy driven.
Next week, what are the strategies of politicians? We'll use examples from this week's interviews with your representatives, as well as an interview with a former lawmaker to give you an inside look. With this week's Hey Senator, I'm Over Here, I'm Donnie Rolls.